Milena, how did you find Carnivore?
Hi, Dave. I was a pre-diabetic baby. I was born with 9, mm, maybe 10 pounds, what my weight when I was born, and in kilograms it's 4.2. And I have always had some health issues from my baby period. I had a lower voice and thin hair, weak nails, cold hands and feet. Later, with the puberty, I got some excess hair on my legs, arms, which was atypical for my family. And so, at the age of 5 years, I got my first hemorrhoidal bleeding. And at the same age, I started having some chronic tonsillitis problems, and I was a regular at my otolaryngologist office. And my mom also used to take me to the apiarist. It is a kind of beekeeper who also is good and some propolis application, and I had irrigation of those pharynx and everything inside, and it was really uh, disgusting. I mean, the taste, and it did not help. And everything ended up with removal of my tonsils at the age of 8 or 9 years old. It was really extremely painful. So I didn't have healthy childhood. And I have always had two problems, which names I didn't know at the time, but now I know they are lymphedema and lipedema. I had too fat hips, thighs, and buttocks, unproportional because I am slim from my upper part, and some swelling around my body caused by this bad lymphatic flow. And also, my mother was allergic to iodine for all her life. For example, if just to draw the line with iodine on her body, it will be swollen. And so I think that I was iodine deficient. Since my childhood, I have been iodine deficient. Um, I wouldn't say that we eat badly because we lived as a cross-generational family. My grandparents, my parents, my sister, and I in a little house with an orchard, vegetable patch, and also my grandpa was good at raising hens, ducks, and rabbits. So we had this meat, and on the weekends, my dad used to go to the farmer's market to buy some fresh pork and cottage cheese, and it was a kind of um, no, they were nice weekends because we ate kind of fast, I would say. But the problem was with bread because in my country, I wouldn't say that it was worshipped, but something of the kind. Bread was the main of paramount importance. Everybody should respect bread. We were bred up that bread should be present with every meal, and we used to eat a lot of bread. Some people even ate pasta with bread, and etc. And when we were kids, we used to have bread before we go out. So big, thick slice of bread, spread with butter, and then maybe jam or sugar. So and also we did not have much coffee at the period, but we used to drink tea also with sugar, as you can imagine. So, but I remember that my grandma uh, used to cook on pork lard. We didn't use vegetable oils. There were no, and we had homemade ghee and pork lard. And so I think that my nutrition was half good, half bad. Half good because we had meat every day and eggs, but those pasta, bread, and maybe potatoes was the bad part of that nutrition. But if I could recall my school classmates, nobody was fat. Maybe one or two students in the school were fat, but we knew that it's because of some health reasons. The, on the whole, everybody was quite slim, and there were no obese students or overweight. I don't remember them. But if I return to my conditions, I was weak. I mean, I had weak muscles. It's one of the symptoms of this low thyroid, iodine deficiencies altogether. And for example, I hated running at PE lessons, or I hated swimming. I cannot swim well at the moment because just I don't have strong muscles to swim for a long time. And also, this iodine deficiency caused me some cognitive problems. For example, I was one of the two best students in my class. I could understand things very quickly, but I couldn't hold them in my memory for a long time. If, for example, I need to revise for the test, I need to repeat many times things just to remember them. But I understand and think quickly, but I couldn't hold them in my memory. And for example, there is something with coordination. I drive with sat nav. If I need to go to a bigger place, or for example, to the capital city of my country or somewhere, I have stress because I cannot find a way without satnav. If, for example, I'm in a big shopping center or a big new building, maybe office building, it's really difficult for me to orient there, and I really have some stress. In my childhood, also I was a bit introvert because my family relationships between my parents were quite toxic. So I think maybe my mother, because of this iodine deficiency, was had some maybe anger issues like this. So no, I'm positive that those vitamins and minerals are very important for our nutrition because if we are depleted, we can have some really big issues with our health. So what next? Also, I have had some rigid muscles, my trapezius muscles. They are too tight and they are hard. And I have been a client for masseurs for many, many years. I just need to go there for massage session once a month because they're just aching if I do not do it. And I would like also to touch this delivery process. I gave birth to two sons, and both of them were baby formula fed because I didn't have enough milk. So I started breastfeeding them, but in 1 month they started crying much, and my no, their doctor, this doctor for babies, she checked how much milk they received, and they didn't receive enough milk. So I didn't have enough milk. It's also one of the signs of this low thyroid. But I asked questions and nobody answered it. Nobody, no docs had this information for the moment. But I'm happy that at least for 1 month they had breast milk. I couldn't do more in this period because we did not have internet, we did not have self-education on YouTube as we have now, etc. So when I was maybe 25, 30 years old, I started earning more money and I started digging how to get rid of my this um, lipedema, lymphedema things. And I found a good beauty salon that offered equipment for pressing, for wrapping, all procedures, rather expensive. And I took up a course of this pressing. So there are special blankets. They wrap your thighs, buttock, and then press it with air. So there are cycles. And also there were wrappings with some creams potential, so blah, blah, blah. It didn't help. In some months, I asked the doctor what's the matter. I already befriended with him, and he said sincerely that it does not help because it's just business, nothing personal. The owners of the salon just wanted to have business to sell the services. And I was a bit shocked because what could help me because I would like to wear mini skirts. I would like to go to the beach. I would like to be more active and more attractive. And he told me that just liposuction. And it was 20 years ago. There was no signs of keto diet, of carnivore diet, of internet education. And I found good, really the best plastic surgeon and underwent liposuction under total anesthesia. And he removed 4 liters of this liquid fat from my thighs and buttocks. And there, I would tell you that it was a game changer. I do not recommend liposuction to anyone because there are now we have other tools. We have those dieting and so, but 20 years ago it helped me a lot. And I was disciplined. I counted calories. I did not eat trash. I did not eat, I don't know, French fries or sweets. And I kept this appearance for many years. And yeah, but when I was 40, I made it again and gave birth to my second son. And I think that I gave everything from my body to him. And I was left with more severe symptoms. Okay, so I started waking up in the nights just to go to the bathroom. I had bad sleep. These trapezius muscles were worse, and also I had a mini stroke because something went wrong. I just don't head, and something twisted in this artery supplying this brain, and I lost my balance. I had vertigo, some symptoms, and I spent 2 weeks in a hospital under some infusions. And then they sent me to rehabilitation. No, I took private course of massage from another specialist, not state specialist, but very good specialist who was a neurologist of the highest level. So he was a doctor and also a masseur. He studied in Germany some special massage, and he helped me a lot. Um, but I understood there's something wrong with my health. What else I would like to say? When I was pregnant for the first time, I just gained 5 kilos, so 10 pounds, like this. But when I was pregnant with my second child, I gained like 40 pounds. 40 pounds, and I had severe toothache. And of course, I had a dentist, but he couldn't find reason at the moment. Um, so, but I could cope with my symptoms. We lived, and now we also live in a house with a garden. I was gardening oriented, and my concept was I need to grow my veggies and eat my veggies. Also, we had more veggies than we could consume, and we preserved veggies. For example, we made our pickles or our tomatoes or tomato juice, etc. So all the summer was a process of conserving, making jams or like this. And maybe 5, 6 years ago, I found this keto. Uh, Keto by Dr. Berg and by Dr. Ganji. They are really influencers. I did not fall out for 100%, but I introduced some elements of their systems in my nutrition. So, for example, keto sweets, those fatty bombs. So, for me, it was more toxic because those mm, nuts and nut flowers are really toxic if to have them on regular basis. And also, Dr. Gandhi was a big mm, propagator of sweet potatoes, for example. Now I know that they are full of oxalates. So we introduced more veggies, and they appeared to be toxic, more toxic. And I started waking up not once in the night, but 2, 3 times, 4 times in the night. And I had some flare ups on my face. Um, and I was a regular from going from eye doctor to skin doctor because if you have symptoms with eyes, it's just eyes. If you have symptoms with skin, it's just skin. Uh, we have doctors who are specialists. There are specialists in fingers, specialists in ears, but nobody can tell you the whole image. Um, Also, I maybe forgot to tell that I had gum bleeding and those waking up in the night also were connected with some pelvic pain and groin itch, so interstitial cystitis, you name it. And last year I went to this neighboring country where they have better clinics and more affordable. And here in my country, in Slovakia, it's nothing. It's you can wait for a month for appointment, but in neighboring country, I found rather good clinic, and in 2 days I had all the image of my health, and I had a gastroenterologist, urologist, ultrasound, gynecologist, and I also had blood test for everything possible, maybe um, 50, 60 parameters, maybe more. And they found this irritated stomach, irritated esophagus, because I also swallowed this gastroscopy thing, gastroscopy pump. And they found scent in my bladder, and they sent in my bladder and offered very painful procedures of spraying something in the bladder. I went on the internet and read reviews. There were no positive reviews. So no positive reviews. It's really painful and it doesn't help. So I refused, and I was already depressed. I didn't know what to do because you know that bad sleep. You in the morning you are just irritated because you didn't have a good sleep. I worked as a teacher in a grammar school, and in grammar school there are the best of the best kids. They are very smart, and I had brain fog because I did not sleep well. I also drank coffee, not much, but for my low thyroid function, it was enough to have heavier brain fog. And last October, I was driving my car and listened to YouTube podcast, and they offered me Dr. Chefi interview with one guy who is a principal or director of Old People Nursery Home. And they were talking about dementia and some cognitive problems. And that guy who is the principal solves them feeding the elderly people, the clients, with meat food. So he just banned all the sweets in the nursery home and just adds more meat, eggs, and they eat some vegetables, but not much. And he was talking about significant cognitive improvements. Uh, there was a lady who didn't recognize her daughter. He started recognizing, so he started recalling some events. So it was really cool. And I, of course, had heard the word carnivore before while on keto, but carnivore in my YouTube feed was presented just by Dr. Saladino. He was not very persuading, and but Dr. Sheffi was really nice because he was just keeping silent, and that guy, principal, was talking everything he wanted, you know. And next day, I watched a second video interview by Dr. Chapi and Maggie, the carnivore from Canada. If you know, she has been a carnivore for 65 years, and she looks like Goldie Hawn in her best years. Not Goldie Hawn now, but Goldie Hawn. So, and I bought it. So I bought it. I understood that there is um, something natural and proper human in it. So, and we started carnivores. My family is on board, and they feel better than me because my husband is stronger. He still can do 70 pull-ups, and he was a sports person, and he was a junior champion in hurdles of all the country. So he's really a sports person, and my son is a carnivore too, and he is one of the best mm, hurdle runners in my country. He's 15 years old. He's a junior, but he's the first second in hurdling, and he runs without any glucose or sweets or you name it, sugar. My husband told me that when he was running, there was a habit to drink some glucose before the start. So they drank ample, maybe 10 milliliters, 5 milliliters, I'm not sure, but half an hour before the start, they were drinking glucose just to have fast sugar. But now my son, he runs on himself without any additives, and he's really good.
Did you convince them to go carnivore, and was it difficult to convince them?
No, and they like meat, so it was really easy. It's easy for me too, because I spent in kitchen 10 minutes a day. No, now as a carnivore. Before it was endless salads. You need to wash, you need to peel, you need to chop, you need to mix. Now it's just several things. I have a pressure cooker, for example. It helps a lot. I have a pressure cooker also combined with slow cooker. So I, for example, before going to work, I just switch it on, put everything together, and I'm done. Or we just have grill outside. My husband's son do some barbecue or eggs. No, it's really time saving. I think that people often complicate things. Life should be simpler, easier, and more pleasant.
Has it helped with the conditions you were suffering?
Yes, of course, it helped. Uh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Before I found carnivores, or carnivores found me, so I don't know, maybe 1 year and a half, last February, I had an idea that I can donate blood and detox. For example, detox my blood just to, um, uh, how to say, be uh, mm, detoxified. I don't know. And we went with my husband to a local donation blood center, and they took my blood, his blood. My idea was to donate regularly, maybe once in 3 months, just to have regular detox. In 3 months, they took his blood, no problems, and they didn't take my blood because I have some indexes out of range. No, for 3 months period, my blood didn't renew. So it was February, May, and then in August I had this checkup with every parameters possible, and I had 9 parameters out of range in August. It means that during 6 months my blood didn't renew, didn't return to good state. And I took another blood test in March, and all my parameters were okay. So I am on carnivore for 9 months, and 3 months, 4 months of carnivore were enough to restore my blood function. So yes, it was really pleasant. Then I have better gums. I don't have gum bleeding. Um, then I have better thyroid function. I couldn't say that I'm cured because it's a process. Hormones is a process. But I used to have cold hands and feet. Now I have warm in the morning. There is a first test that you can find on internet, and therefore, if you test your temperature, morning temperature, you should be um, uh, up 98 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. So now I am okay with temperature. I am okay with my hands and feet. But I have still thyroid hormones under the limit. I don't know. There is a big controversy. What should be the limits? I'm on my journey. but I feel much better. I feel more energetic, and I sleep well. So I think that if I have some issues, they are very minor, very minor. And what else? That brain fog left, and I have better trapezius muscles. Maybe I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe all muscle tissues are better now. So I go to the same masseur for some years, and he noticed that I have um, better muscles. Um, and I wanted also to talk about carnivore dieting because I think there is a big controversy. Old carnivores say that you should prioritize protein to fat, and new um, influencers say that you should prioritize fat. My real experience that protein is more important. I started with a high fat diet, and it didn't work for me. I started watching this girl, who is biting sticks of butter on camera. So, and I gained 4 kilos of fat, uh, kilos of fat. And I had DEXA scan a couple of maybe 1 month ago, couple of weeks, month ago, and I gained 4 kilos of fat. So in total, I had 6 extra kilos of fat, and I lacked 2 kilos of muscles. It's my DEXA scan. So, and I think that maybe it works for slim people, or maybe it works for men who have more physical work. I don't know, but for women, especially for women with some hormonal problems, and for women who are overweight, it doesn't work.
So how are you eating now?
I eat 2 times a day. I do not eat in the morning because I'm just not hungry, and I would like to socialize with my family. So my last meal is about 6 o'clock because my family comes home. My son and husband come together in no, about 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, and I have kind of lunch at school. But I take with me. I take, for example, some meat or some high quality sausage, and I eat at work. So I eat 2 times a day. It's enough. And also I know my threshold. I do not overeat. I know my macros. I should eat 100 grams of protein and about 80, 70 grams of fat. And I calculate, I have on my telephone this macros calculator, and I calculate my protein and fat. I do not eat carbs, but I am really satisfied with the macros calculator because when you do not control what you eat, you can overeat easily. And this macros calculator, for example, it's crazy to eat some cheese. It's the fat goes up, or it's crazy to eat some sauce. So it brings some discipline into my carnivore journey.
Right. So do you get reactions from anyone at school asking why do you only eat meat?
Mm. Um, you know, I just not to comment the behavior of the colleagues because there is canteen, school canteen, and they cook for students, also for teachers, and practically all my colleagues go there. And we started working in this school because I'm a school teacher in high school with my colleague, and she gained um, 10 kilos in 1 year just going to this school canteen. because a school canteen just cook the cheapest things. They cook pasta, they cook rice. There is a lot of side dish, but just little meat. So if you do it day by day, day after day, it just and so mm, I I cannot persuade them that just meat is okay. But I look very good. I am 56, and nobody can tell it because I look maybe 35, maybe 40, but no. And they ask me some. No, we talk, for example, and I can tell them that I have a 30 years old son. And there is a big pause. They calculate when I started having sexual relationships. And then I would like to break the pause and say that I'm 56 years old. I got married when I was 25. So everything is okay. But they cannot believe because, when you eat all this crap every day, it also leaves traces on your face. Some So I'm really satisfied with what I have. I have a good family. I have nice health. I'm on my journey. My nuclear family with me. I like carnivore community. So I think that nowadays we have more challenges, but also we have more possibilities and opportunities to improve our lives for sure.
Mm.
And I'm really thankful to you, Dave, that you have a chance to us mere people just to present our thoughts, our outlook on life.
So, Milena, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any social media?
Yes, Dave, I am in your group on Facebook, and also I started my YouTube channel. It's PhD Milena on YouTube. It's written. You can find me there. I have short videos ending with a joke. It's just 5-6 minutes, but maybe it will be interesting for somebody to watch and leave a comments. So, and of course, I'm watching
Nice.
your videos. So it's
Thank you.
my it's my one of my hobbies to watch your videos. Thank you very much for your kind contribution into carnivore community.